There's one example of many of how Turkish companies have contributed to the security industry, and have become in many areas a leader in terms of providing those products. So, we can choose from some of the products we get from anywhere in the world, and in this case, we choose to get those products from here in Turkey.
Well, that's good to hear. That I know that the technology sector in Turkey is very alive. It's just from the international companies that are involved here. It's quite good to hear, and it's also quite good to hear. I know in some sectors, the aviation sector, for example, there's a lot of aviation development and technology being produced here, and it's good to hear that in this industry as well that there's a significant what's the word I'm looking for? Presence.
It's interesting. Before as I said, my first visit to Turkey here, but my opinion of just Turkish technology was, it just in the conversations, seeing it deployed, working with it, I had this high opinion of both the academic base, both in Turkey, the amount of research, the knowledge that has gone into these products, and nothing has disappointed me during this visit. I've seen, I've spoken to the engineers directly, and now have a chance to sit down face to face with them, and I'm thoroughly impressed with not only the academic talent pool that is drawn from here in Turkey to contribute to those things, but the creativity and the careful design of the equipment in knowing how it's going to be deployed and ensuring that it meets those standards. So I think that's probably one of the strengths I've seen from the equipment that's made in Turkey, quite frankly, is that it's equipment that has been well thought through. It's equipment that works, reliable, and the people who have created it knew what they were doing. So it's exceptional. So once again, a company like mine, we can get equipment from anywhere in the world, and there's many products that we will get only from Turkey just because of those reasons.
Yeah, that's good to know. I was noticing that there's vehicles and different vehicle configurations. There's what else? There's so many different, well, I don't know. What is, can I ask a question like this?
Sure.
What's the hot seller? What's the biggest sort of item that is sold in your industry?
Boy, there are, Martin, as you can imagine, there are many needs. And I don't say that jokingly. There are truly many needs that on a serious note, save lives every day. Obviously, the protection of people, of those in harm's way, is probably the largest, honestly, in terms of how do you protect people while they're driving in vehicles, getting them from point A to point B, while they're in airplanes, while they're in ships, while they're in inside houses. That is by far the largest amount of product being sold, quite frankly, and deployed, and for good reason, obviously, right? Next would be explosive detection. It's the biggest concern, right? How do you detect explosives, and how do you do it from a distance? And we've talked a little bit about that. And then after that, you're trying to the next sector would be trying to gather intelligence, trying to get information about those that are trying to do harm, right? So you're trying to collect information. You're trying to get that from a variety of different ways, and then analyze it in real time so that it can be actually used, right? And benefit those that we're trying to keep safe. So.
Right. Well, it sounds and I know for my viewers, I'm always quite curious about what makes our world, an interesting place. And of course, this part of the world, an interesting place because it is the crossroads, and that. In Afghanistan, and we're pretty much running out of time now, so I'll try to keep my question short. And we're looking at the immediate concerns for security, and you're also providing solutions for the long-term standard airport or policing and things like that. How do you see in a legacy point of view, you're going to be, a lot of equipment would be going there from your company.
Right.
And when things are stabilized, some of it will leave,
Right.
and some of it will stay. Do you, how do you feel about that? Like, do you feel that it's a good, like, you've done your job at the end of the day?
I think so. When you it's interesting. This particular conference is about Afghanistan reconstruction, right, and providing stability. And I believe one of the first one of my colleagues, the first speaker who got up, said, you know what, stability doesn't happen until we have security. You really can't do anything until there's a stable environment from a security perspective where you then can start to make changes, both in education, healthcare, infrastructure. And I think that's the legacy that I'm most excited about, is to be able to provide the products that I know are going to give the country of Afghanistan, the people of Afghanistan, and the government a fighting chance to develop a democracy in whatever way is adequate, or whatever that ends up being, and whatever the Afghan people want, and whatever that ends up being is fine. And but exciting to know that our contribution will give them that opportunity to do that, and that's, I think, probably the. I think that's the thing that has us put in the long days and the long hours and take the risks that we're taking, quite frankly, is knowing that is making a difference. So we're excited about that.
Well, Doug, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to have you here. I'm looking forward to your return to Istanbul. Hopefully we can talk again at that time and see how things have developed. And I know that you were telling me during the break, which was top secret, that there's some new technologies coming out from your company.
I will be able to share that with you next time, and I'd welcome that, and I think it would be fascinating for your viewers. So.
Okay, well, we'll definitely get together again then in April when the weather's warmer, when a new technology has been unveiled to the world. This will be exciting. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching The Crossroads. You can reach us at The Crossroads at 6news.com.tr. The Crossroads, remember, is one word. And look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good night. Bye-bye.